going. I wanted to get on and talk about that technique that I just demonstrated there. So ascending sixes. I came up with this technique. I was just looking for different ways of playing fast riffs recently. A few months ago already. I've been working on this stuff for a little bit. And I wanted a repeatable pattern. Now, of course, I've probably seen ascending sixes in numerous different solos throughout the years, but I never tried to get it down underneath my own fingers. But I figured out it's not too bad. I demonstrated that riff there, so that was in the key of A. That goes through this position here. We go into this position here, and then we finally make our way up all the way up to here, and then we slide up to A at the end. So that uses a number of positions. But they're all ascending sixes. So that one really slow looks like this. So you'll see. So position 1 is here. Position 2. Number 3. Number 4. 5. And that's it, you get it at the end. So, all, through 5 positions, but it's the same ascending 6 pattern, just using different notes as you're moving yourself up the neck. So I thought that was a really cool lick. They really sound aggressive when you're playing them like that, you know what I mean? It's a cool, like, intimidation style lick. I came up with messing around in these positions. I wrote another lick a while ago that was a strict alternate picking lick. I'll try and demonstrate that one here. So that one goes like this. It's a little sloppy there, but that one slowly. But using those same ideas, I threw it in the ascending sixes pattern. And if you don't have it underneath your fingers, you can kind of just pick almost anywhere on the neck, and you just want to start out like this, with whatever 3 fingers are most comfortable for you. I, for some reason, use my index, my middle, and my pinky most. So I'm not going to use my ring finger on this one, but you can start out anywhere, and you just do a little up, ascending six. 1. So start out with that. Just stay in the same position. You start out on a downstroke, so down, up, down, up, down, up, and then you're back on a downstroke for the second set. So it repeats that same section. So you want to get that under your finger, and you want to get used to kind of just going. When I first started out, I would just do like one set really fast to try and get at least one accurate set under my finger. And then I would try to add a second one. If you can kind of keep your mind on hitting the 1 on the group of 6, that being your index finger on the first of the whatever 2 strings you're working with, like here. So if you get that underneath your fingers, you can almost just move this stuff all over the neck, and it almost sounds cool no matter what you're doing. You just move it all over the place, and you can come up with different patterns, like that one I came up with in A, and I also have another one that moves up in the key of E in the upper position. So I'm just going to go to my neck pickup to make it sound a little bit smoother. I'll try this one slowly, at least at first. This one's a little bit more difficult because you're moving, through different positions, and I've said this in other videos. Whenever anytime you're playing in the upper register, you have much less margin for error. I don't have to be necessarily accurate to have this sound fairly accurate. I was probably off on a number of those strokes, not quite on, but if you're off up here, it's a lot more difficult. So slowly the one in E goes like this. So this works through these positions. Again, that one's more difficult just because it's in the upper register. If you're first starting out, I would start out in the lower register. Again, get that chunky six underneath your, underneath your fingers. So you can just move them all over the neck, and if you sit there and come up, you can come up with different patterns, and you can put together a crazy run, like, even more. I've been trying to come up with something longer than the one I, initially had in A, and you can also double it, like I was playing it like this at the start here. I also play it where every single one of those repetitions is doubled. That makes it harder, especially over here making this switch. A couple of the positions are harder to go through if you're doing it twice, but it sounds kind of cool because it elongates the lick, makes it sound a little more aggressive in some sense. So that's cool again, but it's difficult. It's difficult to hit a couple of those positions twice in a row. So going through once is definitely easier. But that's just one example. Again, you can come up with your own stuff, and you can just fart around all over the place like I'm doing. You can just go all over the place, and it sounds cool. You can come up with patterns like a lick like that one in A. Would be like a cool way to go into a solo. So they're cool for licks like that, that alternate picking one that I came up with, that I played before. I wrote that as kind of like a picking exercise / little intimidation lick. Sounds cool if you can nail it tight. It's hard to nail tight, at least for me right now. A little sloppy, but if you make sure you land on the ones on the first of each beat where both your pick and your finger are supposed to be, you can generally get through those licks a little bit cleaner, even if you're a little sloppy on the rest of the parts. It's most important to be sure you're hitting on one. So yeah, I just thought it was a cool technique. Again, if you're first starting out, you can just pick one spot and just work on getting through one repetition. It's strict alternate picking, so down, up, down, up, down, up on the next string, and then back to down on the first string. Looks like this. So again, if you can get that on your fingers, then you can just throw it all over the neck. You can come up with your own musical sequences. Just put them in key. Figure out where your hands need to be for the correct notes. But you can come up with a lot of cool stuff just with that simple pattern, ascending sixes. So I thought it was really cool. Try it out if you've never tried it before. It's definitely an easy way to play some fast licks really quick without having to be too sharp. Because I picked it up relatively quickly, and again, you don't have to be 100% ridiculously accurate for it to sound cool and correct. I mean, it definitely wasn't accurate all over the place, but I think it sounded close enough. If I had to throw that in somewhere live, that would be okay. So it's a cool technique. Check it out if you never tried it, and I hope you enjoyed it. So have a good night. Thanks.